Hey, what's up, guys? Go ahead and give you a quick update of the e-bike. So currently right now the bike is not running. I got good news and bad news. The bad news is that after troubleshooting, well, first I'll just go off the test ride. So test ride, hopped on the bike, had in the pedal assist 5. As soon as you get on the bike, you start to roll out. The bike, it pretty much goes into limp mode, right? Like you lose all the power in the lower RPMs. So anything from like 0 to 10 to 15 miles an hour, the bike cuts out. Alright, and so if you turn the bike off, you turn it back on, it's fine. Okay, everything's fine. If you baby out of the throttle and make it to 15 miles an hour or so, the bike is fine. I mean, you could full throttle, you could hit full power. I took the bike up to, I don't know, 50 plus miles per hour. I do note that with these stock tires, anything over 40 miles an hour, I would say is pretty sketchy. And it's a good sketchy. It's sketchy. They're fat tires, man. I mean, they're fat tires, and I think that the bike, just in general, was only really made to go, a little bit more than 30 miles an hour. I think the bike, when I had it, the fastest I went was 33 miles an hour. 33 miles an hour. So, anything over 40 with those tires, in my opinion, is sketchy. So, all right. So, with that being said, so I tested the bike a few times. That's pretty much what I was getting. The bike kept cutting off, and it's been a few days where I've been troubleshooting with NB Power, and they've done a pretty solid job with the communication. I mean, like you reach out to them and they're communicative, right? I've seen the reviews. Some people will say, oh, they got their opinions, things like that. Well, me personally, they're doing a great job. Okay. What I do every day is troubleshoot. Even in my past career, I worked on cars and even work on my own cars, right? Even with this bike, right? I'm doing all the work myself. I'm not getting any assistance from anyone. I'm working on it. I mean, besides right now, it's because it's their product. So I'm like, hey, this is not supposed to do this, right? And so back to the bike, right? The company says that they did the hall test and they set the parameters and everything prior to me getting the kit. So in reality, from their point of view, is that I don't even need to do a hall test, right? But I'm going to do a hall test because I'm going to do a hall test, right? It's not that I don't trust them. It's my bike, so I want to make sure that the bike is running the way that I want it. I don't want to go on a 60-mile ride, 50-mile ride, 40-mile ride away from the house, and then it breaks down on me. You get what I'm saying? So I want to make sure everything's good. With that being said, did all the tests. It passed the hall test. I mean, it passed the hall test, and the parameters and everything are good. I did buy the test from Amazon. It's a e-bike tester, and so mainly what happens is, I wonder if one of these bikes are running. Mainly the tester, you connect it to the hall sensor, or you can connect it to the phase wires, the green, yellow, and blue wire, and then you'll turn the wheel right, and then you'll get lights. You should have a sequence of lights if the Hall sensors and the phase wires are good, you know, depending on the style test you're doing. However, I ruled out the motor's good. The controller, to test the controller, you unplug the Hall sensors, and then it should blink 13 times. And in this case, it blinked 13 times. I got the voltage meter. I checked everything possible. I checked the throttle. I checked everything, right? So I ruled that out. The suspect that was left, right? Because these are the main three components of an e-bike, right? And you guys name them. The first one being the motor, right? The motor itself. The second one being the controller. And the last one, I would say the most important one, and it could be subjective, right? But is the battery, okay? And so you rule those out, right, to find whatever the problem is. And in this case, right now, everything is pointing to the battery. And hear me out on this. The reason why it may be the battery is that the batteries, you have the voltage that's being sent out when you are riding at low RPM, right? So like, it sends more voltage when you're under a load. It requires more voltage, right, to get out of the hole and things like that. So the battery should send you that solid BMS, right? Whether it's 80 BMS, whether, you know, or you know, the volts and things like that, you should receive it consistently. And if it drops, the controller tries to protect itself, right? It tries to protect itself if it's too low, right? And even if you have an overcurrent, it does the same thing. It wants to protect it. So the point is that if even you have a brand new battery like I have a brand new 72 volt battery, 20 amp hour, it's like guns, man. You build guns, you can build the same gun, right, side by side, and they shoot differently. And the same thing with batteries. I mean, in cars, I mean, you build it the same exact way, it may not operate the same way. So NB Power, they sell the batteries, but they don't manufacture the batteries. So mainly, I was able to package up the battery and send it back to their engineers to check everything. So it's there. They should be sending me back a new battery. We'll see how it plays out. So the bike is still not running at the moment. All right. I was pretty let down, to be honest. I was pretty let down because, you know, I don't mind. I love driving this car. I mean, I love the bike, but I mean, I love this car as well, and I do not mind driving it. I mean, you guys can see this thing sounds amazing. 6-speed manual. This thing is fast, very fast. I enjoy driving it, but I want to ride my damn bike, right? I want to ride my e-bike. You know, it's a different experience when you're on a bike. I mean, specifically an e-bike. I mean, it doesn't make noises like this engine, right? But it does make noise. You do hear that motor, and it's kind of exciting to ride. But come on, dude, you know. This is that Arizona traffic for you guys. Gotta be aggressive. With that being said, I would like to ride the bike to work, which would be nice. So we'll do some commute videos and stuff like that. But let me in, then I'll make get in. Why does the traction control act like it was on for a minute, but I turned it off? It's crazy thing about these cars, right? So you have a traction control, right? And then you have another traction control just to get out of the traction control, and then you have another traction control that takes it all off. take it off entirely. It's crazy. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm off, and then it's, by the way, are you sure? But yeah, so plans for the bike, right? What are the plans for the bike? So before I even bought the bike, right, I did a lot of research on the bike and bikes out there, right, to see what do I want in a bike and how I like it. So me personally, I like the cafe style. I love it, right? I mean, I love that style. I love it when it's bare, you know, kind of bare. With that being said, for sure I'm going to replace the tires, okay? And whenever you make anything fast, like this car, right, it has Brembo brakes on it from the factory. You can have a fast ass car, but you want to make sure that that car can stop. And the same thing with the bike, right? I mean, that thing's fast now. And I mean, even at 30 something miles an hour, like, if you fall at 30 miles an hour, you're going to hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's 30 something miles an hour is fast enough that I have to have a full shield helmet, because